In the shadows of a California forest, powerful men gather in secret. Hooded figures, a 40-foot stone owl, and a ritual called the cremation of care. This isn't a horror movie, it's real. Welcome to Bohemian Grove, where the elite worship in the dark. In the heart of Sonoma County, California, surrounded by towering redwoods, lies a place that most people have never heard of. And those who have know better than to ask questions. This is Bohemian Grove, a 2,700-acre private forest compound, owned by the Bohemian Club, a secretive, all-male elite organization founded in 1872 in San Francisco. Every year in mid-July for over 150 years, some of the most powerful men on Earth gather here. Not in Washington. Not in Davos. But deep in the woods. Hidden from cameras. Protected by armed guards and absolute secrecy. U.S. presidents have been here. Ronald Reagan, Richard Nixon, Herbert Hoover, George H. W. Bush, George W. Bush. Even Bill Clinton. Alongside them, corporate leaders, media giants, military top brass, and the heads of global banking institutions. You see, membership to the Bohemian Club isn't just exclusive. It's generational. Entire families of power pass their legacy down through this group, from father to son, politician to CEO. And what do they do in this forest sanctuary? The official narrative says it's a summer camp for rich old men, where they drink, wear silly costumes, act in plays, and escape the stress of leadership. But over the years, whispers have turned into leaks. And those leaks point to something far more sinister. Within the grove, strange rituals take place. Attendees wear hooded robes. They gather before a 40-foot stone owl, the so-called god of wisdom. But in occult circles, many believe it represents Moloch, a deity once associated with child sacrifice. During one of the central ceremonies, called the cremation of care, a human effigy is burned as a symbolic gesture of letting go of worldly concern. But why would world leaders burn a body-shaped figure in front of a stone owl while chanting in robes? Unless it meant something more? Former President Richard Nixon was caught on tape saying, "Bohemian Grove is the most faggy goddamn thing you could ever imagine." Yet he still attended. And when Alex Jones infiltrated the Grove in 2000 and filmed the cremation of care, the world finally got a glimpse behind the curtain. The footage showed cloaked men chanting in front of flames, bells ringing, and a voice from the owl commanding the ceremony. Since then, the Grove has remained a symbol not just of secrecy, but of elite power rituals hidden from the public. What is this really? A harmless gathering of old friends? Or something far darker? Deep within Bohemian Grove, beneath the dense redwood canopy, there's a clearing. At the center of that clearing stands a 40-foot-tall stone owl, carved from concrete and looming over a man-made lake. Every July, under the cloak of nightfall, elite men in hooded robes gather here to perform a bizarre ceremony known as the cremation of care. As eerie music plays and torches flicker in the darkness, they carry a coffin, sometimes shaped like a child or adult figure, to the base of the owl. The figure inside, they say, represents dull care, the burden of stress, responsibility, and worldly concern. But this isn't just theater. The ritual includes chanting in Latin, bell tolls echoing through the forest, a voice booming from the stone owl, commanding the ceremony like a deity, and finally, setting the effigy ablaze, while cloaked figures raise their arms and cheer. The owl, some claim, represents Moloch, an ancient Canaanite god associated with fire and child sacrifice. In the Bible, Moloch was condemned as a false god to whom people offered their own children by burning them alive. Why would leaders of the modern world reenact such a ritual? Why choose a symbol historically linked to blood rituals and death? In the year 2000, Alex Jones and cameraman Mike Hansen secretly infiltrated the Grove. They recorded this exact ritual, the hooded men, the burning effigy, the stone owl watching over it all. The footage shocked the world. And yet nothing changed. No investigations. No outrage from the media. It was brushed off as harmless tradition, theater. But ask yourself, would you trust people who play with fire and mock sacrifice in secret to lead the world in daylight? Bohemian Grove isn't just a playground for the rich, it's a gathering of the architects of the modern world. Behind the thick trees and guarded gates are names that have shaped wars, economies, and global policy. Over the decades, some of the most powerful men in history have walked its trails. Among them, Ronald Reagan and Richard Nixon, both of whom attended before becoming U.S. presidents. George H. W. Bush, former CIA director and later president, who was a regular. Henry Kissinger, master of geopolitical strategy and longtime member. Colin Powell, Dick Cheney, Donald Rumsfeld, all involved in military-industrial decisions. David Rockefeller, the banking tycoon behind global finance institutions. High-level executives from Google, Goldman Sachs, Bechtel, Chevron, and the New York Times. In other words, politicians, military commanders, media giants, tech overlords, oil billionaires, bankers, all in one forest together with no press, no public, and no accountability. The motto of the Bohemian Club is, "Weaving spiders come not here." Meaning, no business is to be discussed. But this motto contradicts numerous reports that major deals and decisions have originated in the Grove, including early discussions around the Manhattan Project, the secret plan that led to the atomic bomb. In 1991, journalist Philip Weiss infiltrated the Grove for Spy magazine. He described public urination, drunken elite men in drag, and a disturbing culture of entitlement and secrecy. Even more chilling, he reported overhearing conversations about U.S. military strategy and corporate lobbying efforts. These aren't just camping buddies. These are the people who control media, energy, war, money, and policy, gathering off the record beyond public scrutiny. And when you gather this kind of concentrated power away from cameras and oversight, you don't need a conspiracy, you are the conspiracy. For over 150 years, Bohemian Grove has welcomed kings, presidents, media moguls, and CEOs under its redwood canopy. And yet, very few people even know it exists. It's not covered in the news. It's not mentioned in presidential biographies. And if you search official White House records, there's almost nothing. Why? Because Bohemian Grove isn't just secret. It's protected. Protected by power, money, and silence. Journalists who've tried to expose the truth were either denied access, mocked, or mysteriously discredited. The footage captured by Alex Jones in 2000 was dismissed as a stunt, despite showing elite figures in full occult ritual. Witnesses like Richard McCaslin, who later attempted to enter the Grove armed, were branded mentally unstable and imprisoned, their testimony buried, their warnings ignored. Even those who once attended, like Nixon or Reagan, never spoke about what truly happens beyond those trees. The media? Silent. The public? Distracted. The elite? Still gathering. Every July, the Grove has become a modern mystery wrapped in mockery, made to seem ridiculous so you never look closer. But here's the thing. When every year the same men who control wars, money, tech, and politics gather for fire rituals and secret speeches, you have to ask, what decisions are being made there? And if they're laughing at us for asking, maybe we're getting too close. In this video, we reveal the disturbing truth about Bohemian Grove, the secret society where the elite meet to perform occult ceremonies hidden from the public eye. Featuring presidents, billionaires, and global power players, this is the gathering they don't want you to know about. Watch until the end, it gets darker than you think. Subscribe to uncover what they fear you'll find.